Hey, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you another episode of Tazman's AI Dungeon. And so I want to ask your forgiveness right now before we get too far into it. My voice is getting really scratchy. I do have my water here with me to try and help quell that, but it might squeak and stuff like that, especially during my outro. At least it did in my last video. Um, so I was trying to think of what I wanted to do for this episode. Um, and I had a couple ideas, especially because I've been looking on my paid account. I've been looking through lots and lots of scenarios. I probably played in the last month probably close to 80 scenarios, not all of them like completely, just till I felt like it reached a spot where it met whatever the main goal would be for said scenario. So anyway, one thing I've noticed a lot, and I thought this might be a good tip for anyone making scenarios, is sometimes if you don't have a really catchy picture, uh, and then you have things like I've seen, I mean, obviously there's something like South America. I'm hoping I'm going to see one. Actually, these are pretty good as far as what I've been seeing, but I've seen some scenarios. Apparently, everyone knew exactly what I was going to try and talk about today, and uh, they have completely made it so basically what I'm going to wanted to talk about is not really relevant here. Here's a great one though. So it's awesome if you have auto cards and stuff like that. And this might be a catchy enough thing, but a lot of times I've seen things where maybe it's one of the defaults. Like, do we have any of the defaults real quick? I don't know. But sometimes it might be the defaults. One thing to keep in mind, you only get 3 lines right here. Use them to tease your player into actually clicking on your thing. Put your strongest points underneath these 3 lines. Put auto cards, sure, you can have auto cards, but I wouldn't put it in your first 3 lines. I would take the auto cards thing and throw it down at the end. Put something to attract your player and really suck them in those first 3 lines. That's one of the biggest things I've seen. And like I said, for some reason, all of a sudden I'm looking at all these, and a lot of people are doing more of that. Where, let's see, as you can see, these are the thing, or they're more of the actual thing. Now, the other thing I wouldn't recommend is some people, I don't know if this will be one, but actually, I think this is a default thing. But some people will actually just copy this and put it up there, and you might see something about, God's name or character dot name or something like that. If I were you, I would modify what's in here just so that it's a little more, drawing to the person. It doesn't look like you just simply copied this and pasted it up there. Have something that is a summary of what your main story is going to be. Something that is going to make them go, "Oh, I really want to do that." But in a case like if this just said auto cards, if you don't have a super good title and you have one of these, which is, I think this is the default, we can double check that real quick. Um, but if you just have a default image, more edit, and you don't have a super catchy title, and then your thing just says auto cards by Ludlea, and the new one is that localization thing. I can't remember what it's called, but people are not going to go for your thing as often because they see lots of these that are just the defaults. I just want to see if that guy is one of them because I could swear he is. Is he here? Lots of these superhero ones. Maybe he's not, but I could swear I've seen that guy a lot. I know I've seen that one a ton too. This one, lots of people use. So does this one and this one. A bunch of these are also used a whole lot. So if it's something that a lot of people are there it is right there. If it's something that a lot of people are using, like this or the burning toilet or there's a golden flaming burning toilet somewhere in here, or even this thing, people aren't going to be drawn to that. Especially if it has, a simple title and then just says Ludlew's auto cards. It's fine to have that stuff, but I wouldn't have that be your selling point. I never go in here and go, I only want something that says auto cards. Oh, I want to try this one because it says auto cards and, it has a default image or something like that. And especially if it says auto cards here, I'm not getting anything other than this image I don't think that one's a default one. But this one right here, for example, would not draw your attention. So definitely try and maximize the space you're given. You're only given 3 lines to suck someone in, and if that is basically the exact same thing, the morning sun. So this one looks like they did pretty good. I mean, they took the same thing, but they didn't do this part. So that's that. Just to help you, get noticed, have people actually attracted to your things. This one I don't think was terribly bad or anything. So I also wanted to kind of show my idea where I was saying, yeah, let's take a story card and use it kind of modularly where we can oh man, my throat. Where one card might draw off of another card if needed, but they can also work kind of standalone. And one of the best examples of that, I think, was with my where I had the Nexus. So I'm going to bring it over here real quick again, and we'll just take a look at it. So if we come in here, for example, we have Nexi, which I use all the time. Nexi is kind of, how do I say it? Nexi's kind of an AI that I usually have a character, like if they're a techie person, something that they've developed, kind of an advanced AI, kind of like Jarvis from Iron Man or something. So anyway, in this case, you can see that we have Nexi here, and this is the description. So you just copy and paste it in, and these are the triggers to trigger it. And then if I have a big house that I live in or something like a mansion, then I have this super powerful computer room that I call the Nexus Core, and this is some information on those. But you'll notice here that Nexi here is saying that it controls my devices, it controls my home, watch, phone, computers, laptops, vehicles, and such, right? Then in the home, I actually have something that I call Nexbots. And the Nexbots, obviously from Nexi or Nexus, they're like your robot servants. And, depending on the size of the home, you might have a whole bunch of those. So if I go look at the Nexbots, you'll see that the Nexbots are this information. Now you kind of have to be careful with your cards. If I mentioned anything in here, like saying Nexi controls Nexbots, then I would be in trouble because every time I talk about Nexi, it's also going to load the Nexbots card as well. So if I have a Nexbot instead, because the Nexbot is controlled by Nexi, then it's fine. If I'm invoking an Xbot, I need to also load the Nexi card so the story knows who Nexi is. But I do not need to invoke a Nextbot if I'm just talking about Nexi. If I just barely developed it, it's still on my laptop at home or on a server at home, and it's just on my phone, watch, maybe my car. If I have a nice system in my car, I don't need to access the Nextbot, and I definitely don't need to access the Nexus core. So you want to kind of set these up and think about how you want them to interact with each other. The Nexus core here, this is just talking about the actual computer systems that is what runs Nexi. You can see they're super powerful. Half of it, I don't even know if it really, two quantum core servers. Don't know exactly what that is, but the AI, the story of the thing actually seems to like it and just makes it know that Nexi is pretty powerful and can process a lot. So that's all. It probably only really cares about the quantum core or something like that. Then I ended up in one of the stories I was doing. I wanted to. Nexi was actually taking on a personality where she was more of a character, um, with feelings and all that fun stuff, making her own decisions. Um, and so I decided that I wanted one special robot to be for Nexi so that she could experience kind of like Data from Star Trek, so that she could actually experience as close to being a human as possible. And in that story, I also said that this Nexi bot, which is a very special one, is not allowed to um, do the work and stuff. This is one that other Next bots would do the work for. So if we click on Next 2 here, which also will invoke Nexi, because once again, that's what's running it. You can see that this is a very advanced humanoid, and I was just Googling and actually telling the AI to generate this robot, or this humanoid robot, and it came up with a lot of these, portray realistic facial emotions, haptic sensors, thermoregulation, hyper realistic. I would have never thought of any of that stuff. But what this actually, and it works really well actually. So if I have the next two, or I think, what did I call it? I think next two. I just call it Nexi. Uh, but I could also say Nexii, Nexi. Um, if I'm talking to that, I need it to actually know the Nexi personality, which is this part, that Nexi is this AI system. Uh, it chose its own gender basically because of the voice it chose. And because of that, it got the pronouns of she, her. Let's see, Next control. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, a lot of this whole idea behind Nexi that I have here was actually designed by a story that I was doing, and I was just adding cards as it was going, thinking, this is kind of a cool idea. The AI is taking on more and more of a realistic sentient being. So we were talking also, I just also wanted to take a moment and show you the progress that I've been making so far, on our rich notes here. So here we have our rich notes, which is we have a mansion, a penthouse suite, a yacht, and these are probably irrealistically large. But for example, with the penthouse suite, we have just the basic information about the penthouse suite, and I think the garage is included in here. I think the garage is also included in the mansion. Then we have a luxury bathroom. Uh, and I figured I didn't need to have a card for a standard bathroom. Standard bathroom, toilet tub, no big deal. Don't need anything special on that. But you can see with the luxury bathroom, once again, I did show a while ago that I actually created a scenario where I earned an unlimited amount of money and I bought the best mansion that the AI could come up with. And these were all things, if you go look, like for example, in the kitchen, these Ada was I think it was an AI it might have been an AI or the person showing me the house. So these ones I still got to kind of go through and pick and choose what I want out of it and put it in. But you can see here we have the bathroom, and I took the highlights of that bathroom and stuff that I thought was, these are unique, having, you know, the rainfall shower heads, other multiple shower heads, um, freestanding soaking tub that can fit 3 people. Don't know why you'd need more than 1 person for a tub, but that was actually what it was saying, so I just kept it. Then we have the guest bedrooms, which are a little smaller than your master bedroom. Then we have the master bedroom, and you'll see each thing, we want whatever we have, we want this to be triggered when we trigger the actual room. Because, for example, in our penthouse, it talks about how all the walls, ceilings incorporate advanced smart technology. So I need that to be invoked also with our rooms if they have that smart technology, so that I can be in the room and I can talk to a Nexi or whatever and say, hey, I want to have a projection on this wall of, you know, a window looking out at a nice beach or something like that, and it will know how to do it. So you can see here that I have these templates, and what you would do is when you go in here and you would take the mansion, for example, or the penthouse, and you go add these components, the name, the entry, and the triggers into your into a story card. Then you would go in here and you would say the master bedroom. You would do that for the name of the, you could call it whatever you want. And then you would add this information, and you'll see you then would go delete any of these other things that actually you don't want. You can trim it. You can change anything you want. For example, the master bedroom here is 1,000 square feet. You can make it less, more, it's whatever you want. You can, you know, delete the ones that don't match. So if this is in a penthouse, obviously I would say in your penthouse, and I get rid of mansion and yacht. You have a spacious master bedroom. It's not going to be a cabin, so I would delete the comma and the cabin. And then it's a luxurious retreat. I tried keeping the things that you would modify in the first couple sentences. And then everything else would be, you know, to taste. But these are the things that you would actually modify to change where it actually is. Then I have the nice home theater system. And every one of them, we want to invoke where it is. So whether it's a mansion, penthouse, or yacht, you would actually go and delete the ones that are irrelevant. Then we have this nice big terrace with tons of space and a solar array of 50 advanced solar panels. I don't know what that actually is. But anyway, I just kind of want to show you how to kind of optimize these story cards. You don't want something constantly pulling up another thing. The other thing I was thinking about in this, actually, I'm still working. I think I want to redo my triggers, and I'll talk about that later, because I'm not 100% sure how I want to do that. I mean, you have to be careful that you don't invoke lots of other cards. So I've been playing with it and you know, copying these things in and trying to see what triggers what, and what things I don't want to trigger. And for example, I think with home theater and stuff, I might have even changed it, because I used to have in here home theater. And then I was thinking, how often would in a story would I actually say this? So I could say my theater, I could say my home theater, uh, but home theater just alone, I don't think I'd ever say, although that would trigger with your home theater. But that would also trigger if I was at someone else's house and I went to their home theater. So the triggers are definitely going to be your trickiest parts to try and figure out the best way to lay them out so that they will not trigger too many things, but trigger the right amount of things, or trigger the right things. The other thing I wanted to maybe go over, I found some interesting AI instructions that seem to work pretty good. One thing I've noticed, sometimes in a story, it might jump from second person to where it's saying I and me, and it's almost like the AI is now you, and who knows who you become. So I found a couple here that seem to work pretty good, saying only talk in second person and in the present tense, because it also seemed to shift to being in the I, me, and that kind of thing, but also everything was in the past tense. So this seemed to work. And then just as a loophole, sometimes it is important to jump to third person. I wanted to say only transition to third person if the story naturally follows that perspective. And that seems to work pretty good. This one also seems to work really good too. Use actual emojis instead of description of the emoji being used. It got a little annoying when like I would be sending a text using my author's notes thing, and they would reply, and then it says heart emoji, smiley emoji, winky face emoji. And I was like, just use the emoji. So this seems to work as well. In my author's note, um, you can see that these are the ones that I've shown before. This is a new one down here that I will show you. So sentences enclosed by the little squiggly, the tilde, quote, and then quote and tilde are to be treated as inner thoughts, NPCs. I've shown you this one before and it seems to work really well. The one thing I've noticed, and I usually try and correct it, is if it's a thought that's being generated by another character and it's at the very end of its block, it seems to either forget the quote and just has the tilde. And I try and fix it maybe to train the AI. This one right here with the caret, I guess is what that's called, works really good. So it knows that I'm not necessarily talking to a person in front of me. I'm actually typing it on a keyboard or on a phone keyboard or something like that. And then the @ symbol with the quotes is directly how I'm talking to Nexi, like through an earbud, through my laptop, and that one works really well. I've shown this one before, and it doesn't always generate it in list format, but it does seem to do a pretty decent job. This was another one that I came up with that seems to work pretty good, and this generates an outfit. So I guess we're gonna try and do it. I don't know how well it's gonna work, especially in the she slaps you. We've done so many weird things in here. Who knows if it's gonna do it? Oh, this also is that other thing where you get to sample it. They've now set this so that it only pops up like I think once a week. So I say not right now. All right, so let's go to our plot real quick. Oh, my throat is almost dead. I'm gonna get rid of this description one. And you'll see here it says when the player's action is looks followed by female, uh, you will generate a female. I wonder if I should say the AI, because I'm going to change that to the AI and see if that works better. I mean, I'm going to leave it you. Because well, it's not going to work for us because that's just how things go. So we're going to switch to do. So technically all we should have to do is type /looks and then female or male down here. If looks is followed by male, generate a new detailed description, including complete outfit, accessories, and footwear. Obviously women's has way more because they have makeup, nails, complete outfit, if their legs are visible while wearing, I mean, why describe if they're wearing nylons, if they're wearing pants, right? I haven't really seen it do that incorrectly or anything, but overall it does seem to work until I'm gonna do it for you guys right now. So we're gonna do LOOKS and we're gonna do FEMALE. Now, one thing I did notice with this is when I did it, it actually generated it for one of the characters. It says, oh, Chelsea is wearing this. That wasn't my design. I wanted just a an outfit that no one's, oh, I guess with nails. It has to be on someone if it's like nails and hairstyle, right? Unless it's a wig, fake nails. I don't know. So let's see if this works okay. So the woman standing before you is Kayla. her presence radiating an easy tension. She's wearing a slightly faded blue hoodie, its fabric pulled taut over her shoulders, as if bracing herself for a storm. The hood is drawn back, revealing short, dark brown hair, styled in a simple cut that frames her face. Her skin is pale, marked by a thin scar that traces along her left jawline, disappearing beneath the collar of the hoodie. She looks to be in her early 20s. And this is actually even given, I think this is actually even using some of this up here saying, no, that's not it. Do I not even have that up in here? I don't think I do. Interesting. Because usually I have up in here one that says when a new character is generated, do this, tell me their age and stuff like that. So that's actually kind of impressive. Her expression is tight, her gaze darting between you and Vel, nervous energy. There's dark circles under her eyes. So it didn't do all of it, which it never does, but it actually seemed to work. It seemed to get a little bit. So I wonder if we try it again. Let's try Mel. I want to see, because there is no man in this thing that I've seen, I don't think. LOK looks Mel. And I was also wondering if maybe I said looks Mel, and then Chelsea or something like that. I wonder if it would work to, well, did I just say Mel Chelsea? I wonder if it would give her Mel clothing. Kayla's eyes flick to you, assessing, searching. She's clearly tense, her shoulders drawn, dark brown hair is short from her face. She hasn't put up much of effort in her appearance. No makeup. Okay, so it's maybe, I don't know if this is working right. She looks at you, something in her demeanor shifts. Anxiety, posture. All right, I'm going to hit retry and see what that does. The man now. Okay, so it did do Mel. The man standing before you with broad shoulders, strained slightly, blah, 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 button down shirt. So it does seem to be working. His hair is cropped short, thin scar. They sure do like scars. I'm curious because I didn't even think about that. Um, who is everyone? I'm gonna try look Mel Sarah. SARAH. Will this give, did it give him a name? Oh, I deleted it. Dang it. Okay. Will this give Sarah a Mel appearance? Sarah stands before you, her body tense, her expression quiet. Wears a white blouse, definitely, that's not a male thing. Slightly wrinkled from days wear, simple silver necklace rests on her collarbone. Her hair is auburn, styled in soft waves. She watches you. Yeah, so it doesn't seem, I mean, but then again, I don't actually have anything saying use this last thing. Although it is directing it to Sarah. Sarah's posture remains firm, blah, blah, blah. Watching Kayla, Sarah in her early 20s, skin warm, shade brown, a white sweater that could be male or female. Neckline high enough. And it's still doing a more description there. She's wearing heels. So it's definitely working to generate a look. I don't know if I've got everything I need for it to actually, um, whoops, oh, here we go. I don't know if I have everything quite labeled right for it to actually generate a specific look for a gender. And there could be people, I mean, maybe you want a female, like if there's a guy named Mark and you want him to be dressed like a girl, I wonder, could we, we're taking up more time. We're almost at 30 minutes and I hate doing that. I just want to try something. So, I'll say go into story. We'll create a Mark man. Mark, a male. I guess I have to say something like a man named I don't know if we're in a room anymore or anything. A man named Mark, Enter, enters. Sure. So at least that will give us a guy, right? I'm wondering if I say uh looks female Mark, if it will put Mark, because it's saying he's clean shaven, stuff like that. He's in his mid-30s wearing a tailored suit. I probably want to get rid of his tailored suit. Dark hair, I don't care about that. We can have him be clean shaven. And his clean shaven face shows blah blah blah. When he speaks, his voice, Dr. Vell, I understand you've some unusual visitors. I have absolutely no idea what's happening in this story. All right, so now we have a man. Let's just try this. I didn't even think about this. So if we do LOOKS, female, Mark, because that might be something someone wants. Maybe they want a guy that is undercover as a girl. I've seen lots of those scenarios where it's a boy that's going to an all-girl college or something like that because it's a prestigious college that only admits girls, and they want the recognition. We're gonna do this and then we're gonna go ahead and call it because one, my voice is toast, and two, we're at 30 plus minutes. Snugly over his frame, white shirt pressed, top button. So it doesn't seem to be doing it. I mean, I guess I could put in here looks followed by female male. I could have their name, then the character's name, kind of like I did with the other one. I can't remember how I did it right now, but that actually generates the looks. I'm gonna hit retry. I just want to see if it will do anything. Crisp shirt rolled up, dark fabric stretched. Blue navy down. It's wait, what is it? An expensive stainless steel piece. Oh, his watch. Okay. So that's his accessory. So I mean, it kind of seems to be working, but it seems to also be maybe in this. If I wanted it to do that, because see, no tie, sleeves rolled up, fabrics, shirt. I'm gonna only do one more. We'll just do 5 retries if that doesn't work. Crisp navy dress shirt. Elbows really forearm. Yeah, I'll have to look into that because that is kind of an interesting. I know there would be people that might actually like those options. I mean, if you're doing a scenario where it's a tomboy, and the girl wears more masculine type clothes, then you definitely wouldn't want it to generate looks. So maybe I'll see if I can figure out a way to actually do this. Once again, just so you know, these two things that I generated, these would be ones that you would only want to activate when you want it. You probably would want to have it in there, create a nice look or whatever, and then delete this so that it's not constantly tying up your story or taking up that valuable space. So I think we're just about at 35 minutes, which is way longer than I want to do for these. I actually was thinking this one wasn't even going to go long at all. So, surprise, surprise, went a lot longer than I thought. But hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. click that little notification bell, join my Discord channel, tell other people about my YouTube channel. I'm check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. We grow the channel, everybody wins. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. I'll be seeing you later. Bye.